Tonight, a troubled mine on the Burin Peninsula may soon breathe new life into a small town. That story and
disruptions in our classrooms and the impact that cell phones are certainly having on children.
A lot of kids video other kids in school to use it as bullying, and I've seen that in my practice.
Is a cell phone ban coming for classrooms in the province? Government says it's not off the table.
The RNC have now expanded into many West Coast communities outside of Corner Brook. It's well into its second month, and I wanted to know how things were going.
Our members have been excited to be out in the community, to have new areas to explore.
I have yet to go in my vehicle to go anywhere in this town or to go to Corner Brook and not see an RNC vehicle.
That's tonight on Here and Now.
People are drowning. They're like, the situation is bad, it's getting worse, and they don't know what they're going to do about it.
A new report warns that there is a huge gap between the minimum wage and what's considered a living wage here in this province.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. A 44-year-old man died in a motorcycle crash in the Goulds last night. Police say it happened around 7 o'clock in the main road area. Emergency crews responded, but the RNC says the man died at the scene. It was a single vehicle crash and the police are investigating. As students gear up for back to school, government is considering a cell phone ban for classrooms. It's drafting a new policy for schools across the province. One mother and doctor says it's about time. But as Here and Now's Jenna Head reports, teachers are pushing to be part of that conversation.
There's a whole world of possibility right in the palm of my hand. Smartphones are a powerful device. They can be a great tool for education, but in the hands of young students, they can also be a major distraction. That's why this fall, the Department of Education wants to do something about it. Phones, like this, could be banned in the classroom.
Cell phones typically aren't allowed in K-6 classrooms, and for older students, enforcement is up to the school. But the province says it needs something stronger.
We looked at the bigger picture and realized that with some of the challenges that we're facing and the things that we're seeing and the disruptions in our classrooms and the impact that cell phones are certainly having on children in our school system, that we need a policy that covers all of our schools and that will be enforced right across Newfoundland and Labrador.
This isn't new. Provinces like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Quebec, Ontario, and Nova Scotia all have implemented a school cell phone ban or plan to. The education minister hasn't ruled that out.
As we talk to our school communities and determine what works best for our teachers and our staff in our schools, that's certainly something that we're going to be considering, whether it's an all-out ban and treating it the same as we do cigarettes or vapes, or if there's a more blended option that we can use. We're hoping to draw some of that information from our consultations.
The union says educators are already overwhelmed. With large class sizes and teacher shortages and increased violence in the classroom, President of the NLTA, Trent Langdon, worries that adding a new electronic device policy to a teacher's list of responsibility is only adding to their already heavy plate.
Many times we don't have enough people on the ground. How can we expect any individual to walk into a classroom of 30, 35 people and enforce something if it doesn't come with the stability that it needs? So yes, I do have some concerns about how well it can be implemented. So that's why we need to be a part of the development piece and to ensure that it is functional within our school system.
There isn't a clear timeline on when the policy will be introduced, but the province hopes to have it happen sooner or later. Consultations will begin in September and conclude in the fall, but for this mom and GP, the decision can't come soon enough.
A lot of kids video other kids in school to use it as bullying, and I've seen that in my practice of kids who, were in the bathroom and kids recorded sounds and then shared that on social media. And that wasn't during school time, that was during recess and lunchtime, or somebody run down our stairs and their breasts were bouncing or something like this, and then that gets recorded and put into an Instagram post or a Snapchat or whatever that they all use. And I've seen a lot of negative aspects of social media that I don't think parents understand is happening in schools.
Dr. Roach sees it most with junior high school students.
Unfortunately, the technology was ahead of the parenting, like most things, and now the parenting and the policies have to catch up to the technologies.
Jenna Head, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the major contracts have been awarded, a hiring blitz is underway, demand for accommodations has soared, and optimism is slowly returning to a small Burin Peninsula town. All this as a troubled mine prepares for a restart. Here now's Terry Roberts reports.
It's been 14 months since these upbeat scenes were recorded at the town hall in St. Lawrence. Big smiles and handshakes as a deep-pocketed private equity fund with a proven track record closed the deal to acquire the insolvent Fluorspar mine. The mine closed in early 2022 after the previous owners ran out of cash, throwing hundreds of people out of work and sending economic shockwaves throughout the region. For months, the fate of the operation was in the hands of lawyers and accountants, with a judge eventually approving a sale for $25 million to Ahmed Funds last winter. A long list of creditors, including many businesses on the Burin Peninsula, lost millions. Now there are some real signs that those dark days may be over.
There is nothing in St. Lawrence you can rent right now. Everybody who has a rental property, it's rented.
They had the resource, they had the expertise, and this group has put forward the necessary capital. So I like where we're going.
A construction company is busy preparing the mine for a restart as early as October. Another company with deep roots in the industry has been contracted to operate the mine, with a first shipment of ore expected to be exported early next year. The new owners are expected to invest $40 million by December, with a workforce that will eventually grow to nearly 300 people.
People are getting called, to put resumes in. They're getting called, for potential job hires. So all that is positive.
The mine's closure was a big blow to workers, but most have since found work outside the province in rotational jobs. The question now is whether Fluorspar is in their future.
It gives them an opportunity to stay home. It gives them an opportunity to wake up in their own beds.
The new owners are talking about a 30-year lifespan for the mine, about building a new shipping terminal near the site, and for the first time in half a century, returning to underground mining at some point in the future. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
A new report says there's a growing gap between minimum wage and what people actually need to live. The Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives says a living wage in this province is now nearly $25 an hour on the island and more than $27 an hour in Labrador. But the minimum wage in Newfoundland and Labrador is $15.60 an hour. A living wage refers to what a household needs to earn to pay for the basics, housing, food, clothing, transportation, and childcare. It does not include savings. One of the report's authors calls it a serious social and economic problem.
Employers need to pay higher wages. The evidence is clear in the region that there's upward pressure on wages, and employers need to adapt to that. They need to raise wages. The evidence of that is clear just based on the difficulty employers are having finding employees. That's the signal. It's time to raise wages. But there's a role for governments as well. The government needs to raise the minimum wage. The minimum wage has not kept pace historically with these increases in the cost of living, so that's an important measure. But there's also a whole host of measures, anti-poverty policies that provincial and federal governments have implemented that are designed to try and get benefits into low-income households or into houses that are in poverty, households that are in poverty. Those measures aren't getting there because the threshold levels are too high. We haven't really accounted enough for inflation that essentially the government needs to recalibrate to understand how the cost of living is increased. Most of the people that we're talking about that fall into this gap, they're simply not eligible for those kinds of supports.
Well, for its part, the province says it reviews minimum wage every 2 years and began its latest review in February. Meanwhile, a man from Toronto is actively trying to help people in this province make ends meet. Eric Patton crossed the country on his bicycle, ending his trip in St. John's today, and he brought $50,000 in food bank donations with him.
Rode across Canada, I think 8,150 kilometers. I did it in 70 days, and I did it for myself, but also I did it to raise awareness for the insecurity for kids. I'm doing it for the After the Bell program with Food Banks Canada. Got that picture? I had never really ridden a bike before of any sort of duration for any period of time, and I decided, let's do this. So I bought a bike, did a little bit of training in my basement for 3 months. I did it outside for a couple months, and then I hit the road. And 70 days later, here I am. So I'm pretty surprised. I'm pretty happy.
Amazing. It will go a long way. So Food Banks Canada distributes 185,000 of these kits to food banks every year. They basically provide healthy snacks in the summer when after-school programs are not available and school food programs are not available. We receive these kits every year. And they contain about 5 days worth of healthy snacks.
I think children are the most vulnerable in our society. If they have no one to look after them, you know, it's very unfortunate. So I think that's a group that really resonates with me. Yeah, it hurts when I think about kids going hungry and not having the energy to play with their friends, to physically and mentally grow. They need that energy. They need that proper nutrition.
Well, residents are seeing many more RNC vehicles on the road in West Coast communities this summer. Places like Steadybrook, Pasadena, and Cox's Cove used to be policed by the RCMP. Now, this expansion has been in the works for some time. Here and Now's Colleen Connors brings us this update on the transition.
Well, it's no longer the Corner Brook Division, but the Corner Brook Regional Office. Nearly 2 months ago, the RNC moved into communities surrounding Corner Brook. And if you are from the West Coast or you live in this area at all, you have seen a major increase of police cars on the roads. But how is this expansion going? This parking lot is empty, not a car in sight. The RNC say that's because officers are busy patrolling, making their presence known.
Generally, that's how it is every day. Members are out and there's a job, and right now that's what they're fulfilling.
The province says giving the constabulary jurisdiction will mean more of a police presence on the West Coast. Officers are in communities on the North Shore. They're in the Bay of Islands and east in places like Pasadena and Steadybrook, providing 24-hour service and random visits.
I have yet to go in my vehicle to go anywhere in this town or to go to Corner Brook and not see an RNC vehicle somewhere along my travels. So sometimes it's a little bit frustrating as a general person, as a motorist, but I'm so happy that they are showing their presence here.
Yeah, I see a lot more people pulled over. Do you?
I do indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm not one.
In Humber Arms South, this mayor welcomes the change. She says police are zeroing in on areas prone to break-ins, that just being here brings down speeding and drug trafficking.
Visibility is important, I feel, because it does cut down on some potential crime activity. So if the police are just showing up at random places, random times, those that may be enticed to do a criminal act may think twice about it, you know? So the increased police presence is very welcomed.
We can't tell you how many new officers have been hired. The RNC won't comment, citing safety concerns. It also won't give details on the resources used to execute this plan, what it takes to take over an area spanning hundreds of kilometers. CBC requested a ride-along, but got turned down. We were given this footage, showing an RNC officer in York Harbour in the Bay of Islands, an area previously serviced by the RCMP. Sharp tells me constabulary officers are coming back to the station with smiles, happy to be building connections with communities while out on the road.
You know, with the rollout, this was new and a new area for us, and we haven't had an expansion for quite some time. So to get positive feedback and being part of the Corner Brook region has been really good.
Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Well, we have an update tonight on a team of local athletes who made it to the World Kickboxing Championships in Budapest. The crowd from Warrior Elite Kickboxing in Paradise are on the podium. Anna Snow from Conception Bay South fought her way to a bronze medal finish. One of her teammates, Isabel Quinton, is guaranteed a medal. She'll fight for gold tomorrow at the Games. Congratulations.
Well, certainly a little chillier today than it has been across a good chunk of the province. We've got a ridge of high pressure on the way. That's going to keep some sunshine in the forecast. I'll get into all the details coming up.
Ashley, I popped out this afternoon, like around 2:30-ish, and didn't take a coat and was shocked by how chilly it was, how windy it was.
Yeah, I didn't even bring a jacket today. I knew what the forecast was going to be like, and of course it didn't. Yeah, it feels very fall-like out there today, pretty much across the province. It started mild earlier this afternoon, though, as we were walking out the door, but those temperatures have certainly dropped today. We figured that would happen. Well, we knew that would happen because the cold front has gone through. But in behind that, we do have a more northerly flow. Things a bit unsettled today, though, as well. We're still looking at the chance of showers for most of the island over the next couple of hours. But we do have this big ridge of high pressure just to the west, and that is going to dominate the weather picture as we head through the weekend, which is good news because that means we're going to see some sunshine right along with that. So we can see some of the greens here, the darker greens, that's some colder air, and it is filtering southward, or should I say continuing to sink southward in that more northerly flow. And certainly from the temperatures today, we can tell what's going on here. 15 degrees was the top temperature in Corner Brook today. Now, temperatures were a little milder earlier today in the east, 18 to 20 degrees, in fact, but has been steadily dropping through the day. And even up across Labrador, temperatures in the teens as well. 13 degrees in Cartwright and about 17 in Churchill Falls this afternoon. But we can see that cloud cover in that northerly flow. It is bringing some showers, like I said, right along with it. Not overly impressive showers by any means. And this is what's generally going to continue over the next few hours. And we do have those showers again in more northerly flow again across the Avalon. But like I said, over the next couple of hours, we will say goodbye to that chance of showers. Temperatures now 11 degrees in St. John's, only 13 in Deer Lake right now. Burgeo sitting at 16 degrees, the hot spot across the island, and up across Labrador, the hot spots are actually in Lab City and Happy Valley Goose Bay, sitting at 18 degrees right now. But this is a big temperature difference from where we were sitting yesterday, especially across the island, anywhere from 8 to 10 degrees cooler in that northerly flow today, and then up across Labrador, different story, so much warmer for those of you in Lab City at about 9 degrees difference from yesterday. So taking a look at what's going to happen as we head through the next couple of hours, as the ridge starts to dominate, we will see that cloud cover end or tonight. So we're just looking at partly cloudy skies over the next couple of hours. Like I said, we'll see that shower chance end across the Avalon as well. So it is going to be a fairly chilly night in some cases, down to the single digits, especially for the west coast of the island, or between 10 to 11 degrees for the rest of the island. And up across Labrador, coolest temperatures in the west, where you will sit about 6 degrees in Lab City. As you head towards the coast, those temperatures a tad warmer, 12 to 13 degrees overnight. And into tomorrow, that ridge of high pressure in place means we're going to see plenty of sunshine. We may see some high cloud move in at times, but for the most part, it's going to be a beautiful day. We will see some of that cloud cover out ahead of our next weather maker that will move in Lab West as we head into Saturday, but you'll see some cloud cover move in with that system and eventually bring some showers, like I said. So the other thing is we haven't really been talking a whole lot about wind, but it is going to be a bit breezy, especially tonight, especially for those of you that are along the northeast coast, looking at those winds gusting around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. Expecting that to continue through most of Friday, but we will start to see that ease up across the big land as we head into Friday evening. Temperatures tomorrow, pretty decent. Upper teens, low 20s for most of us, again, under that sunshine with those winds either out of the northwest to start, but they'll turn more westerly as the day goes on. Again, 40 kilometer per hour wind gusts, and a beautiful day up across the big land as well. You're looking at daytime highs between 18 to 24 degrees, plenty of sunshine. You're going to hang on to this mild air. At least most of us will hang on to this mild air, but there is some shower chances, especially as we get into the beginning of next week, which we will talk about coming up a little later in the show.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, it wasn't the nicest day for visitors to St. John's. The Serenade of the Seas is docked in St. John's this evening. There have been plenty of cruise ships coming into port this summer, but this one has been at sea for an impressive 9 months. It's taken passengers to the Great Wall of China, Antarctica, Machu Picchu, and Peru. Here Now's Jessica Singer headed down this afternoon to find out how historic St. John's stacks up.
How long have you been on this cruise ship?
Oh, almost 9 months. We got on December 10.
We have about 10 more days left out of 274 nights.
So you've been on the cruise for quite a long time. How has the experience been?
It's been great so far.
Very nice. Very nice.
Enjoyed it.
Very enjoyable.
And what do you think about St. John's, Newfoundland?
It's different.
In what way?
It's a bit colder. Yeah.
It's a cute town.
It's windy. I wonder what people do here in the winter.
After going on so many different adventures all across the world, how does this fare?
I love it. It's charming. It's beautiful. It's clean. The people are friendly. I like it.
What has been your favorite part about visiting St. John's?
Favorite part? Yeah, just now we
I think we like the whatever the what is the street over there? The
Duckworth or Water Street?
Water Street and the George Street, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, a lot of colorful building and the architectures is awesome.
And did you have a little drink on George Street?
Oh yes, we have. In fact, have a coffee right in the Timmy or something, right?
Tim Hortons.
Yeah, that's a Canada. Yeah.
How do you like St. John's?
We like St. John's. Actually, I went today for the walk tour on the hill. How they call it?
Signal Hill?
Signal Hill. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. We went there, up there. The weather was very nice. And we take a little bit walking from the downtown. I have a couple beers, local beer, which is nice.
We're getting rained on right now.
But we love it. It's amazing. The city is beautiful. We walked through it. We went to the Basilica, beautiful. We went up the hill. What's it called again? Something Hill.
Signal Hill.
Signal Hill. Beautiful views from there.
Would you come back here?
To Newfoundland? Probably not. Probably. I think we've seen it.
Is it the weather mostly?
Yeah, probably. Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Out of 10, how would you rate St. John's?
Oh gosh, 10 or 11 or maybe 12.
Oh, love it.
If you had the sun come out a little more, definitely a 12.
How would you rate your trip out of 10 to St. John's?
Oh, 10 isn't enough. 10 isn't enough. We got to have at least 12 or 15, I think.
Well, sounds like they made the best of it. Here's more of our bird's eye view of Serenade of the Seas. As we heard, the cruise line offers passengers the chance to travel for 9 months straight, 274 days. But it's not cheap, in case you're curious. Prices range from about $54,000 US to $117,000. Serenade of the Seas started its last leg of the cruise in the Netherlands and was meant to leave St. John's Harbor at 5 p.m. local time, bound for New Jersey, but the vessel will be overnighting here tonight due to high winds. Hopefully they'll have some nicer weather this evening. Ashley will tell us about that coming up.
Org.
Well, as students get ready to return to class, the Education Department is considering whether to ban cell phones in schools. Most K-6 students aren't allowed cell phones in class, but will that policy be extended to all grade levels? Dr. Tracy Roach hopes so. She's a family doctor in Mount Pearl and has 2 young children of her own.
I don't think there's any place for a cell phone in school. I think they make it harder for the teachers to do their jobs. I think it's not safe for other children with some of the cyberbullying that happens. I don't think children are safe online, even though they think they are. They're not. And I don't think parents parented enough. I think it's new. They don't understand this is another aspect of parenting now that has to happen. And there really is, what is the point of a cell phone being at school? What do they need to do on their cell phone at school? Nothing. There's nothing that they need it for. And I have heard parents say, oh, you know, in case they get sick or I need to contact them. Well, they shouldn't be contacting or distracting their children at school. They're there to learn. And then the times that they're not learning, like recess and lunch, they're there to interact and learn those social interactions and make friends. That's what they're there for. So if a parent needs to contact their kid, they call the office and the office will get the child like the old way. I don't see any benefit of having a cell phone in school. All I see is all the negative. So I don't think they should be there, period.
So how should that work? The province is going to be consulting with people on this to figure out what the policy should be. If you were advising the minister, how do you see this kind of policy rolling out?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, I don't really think they should be on the premise, period. But if kids are, I know because some parents are going to say, well, little Johnny walks home and that's the safety thing is that, you know, he's not at school, so I can't call the office. So he needs it for when he walks home. And I understand that aspect of it as well. So yeah, I guess probably collect them might be a solution, or see what the other provinces has done to combat that for the little Johnnies that are walking home, and that's a safety thing. But I think once you're in school, even on your breaks, you shouldn't be allowed to have them.
What sorts of issues do you see in your practice when it comes to young people and cell phones? What are some of the concerns there about how it can affect the health of a young person?
So I am seeing higher rates of depression, anxiety, and ADHD in younger children. And there is direct correlation to cell phone usage. The other issue is that kids are spending more time on their devices and they're not doing as much physical activity and actual face-to-face human interactions. So a lot of them become isolated and they're not integrated into, I guess, society the way you and I probably grew up.
A child will come in and they may be depressed or have ADHD. When can you make that connection between that and cell phone usage?
So I think it's just by pure numbers of what you're seeing. You know, before, I mean, children and teenagers were obviously susceptible to depression and anxiety, but not in the rates that we are seeing. There's lots of studies there if you want to have a look, or people want to have a look on the Canadian Pediatric Society's website that have shown that this is happening. And I haven't seen it 6-7 years ago, not as much as I see it now. A lot of kids video other kids in school to use it as bullying. And I've seen that in my practice of kids who, you know, were in the bathroom and kids recorded sounds and then shared that on social media. And that wasn't during school time, that was during recess and lunchtime, or somebody run down over stairs and their breasts were bouncing or something like this, and then that gets recorded and put into an Instagram post or a Snapchat or whatever that they all use. And I've seen a lot of negative aspects of social media that I don't think parents understand is happening in schools, or recording while they're eating and then slowing the video down and making fun of how so-and-so chews. Then kids don't want to use the bathroom at school, they don't want to eat at school, because these are normal things that you would do and not think of. But when people can record it and change the video and slow it down and make it look really, really bad, then those kids become ashamed to do things that are normal things to do. So I'm hoping that, and that happens mostly, I've seen that mostly in junior high, grades 7 to 9. That's where I think the most detrimental effects probably lie. And that's probably around when my kids will get a cell phone. So I'm hoping the school, that's why I'm very, very strong on this school policy coming in.
So a good habit to get into when you're camping is make sure you do a lot of preparation on your meals. So the gear you need to camp.
Summer isn't over yet. Want to max out your next camping experience because minimum environmental harm still to come. Charlie's teaching us all about low impact camping.
Good day, my name is Charlie White, and today we're up behind Colebrook, Newfoundland, and we're going to talk about low impact camping. So the gear you need to camp as minimalist as possible would be a sleeping bag, a good waterproof tent, a ground sheet, a couple of tarps, first aid kit, bug spray, sunscreen, clothing that will protect you from the weather and from the sun, a flashlight, a small burner stove, a means of communicating with the outside world, whether you're in cell service or you got an inReach, an axe, a saw, a shovel, your water and your food. Keep it simple. Start off small. So a good habit to get into when you're camping is make sure you do a lot of preparation on your meals. You don't want a lot of waste. So each meal should be planned out to reduce the amount of garbage that you'll have to take out of the woods and amount of scent that you'll leave for bears. Good, safe camping practices are to use dehydrated food, something that you can just add water to. It's quick, it's easy to make, and it saves you a lot of time. To reduce your footprint when you're out in nature, whatever you pack in, make sure you pack out. And where you can, pack out other people's garbage as well. So to pick a really good location for camping, you don't want to be on any game trails. Big animals moving through your campsite at night, not fun. You're going to make sure you do an area safety check. Pick a spot where it's going to be flat. Make sure you're not in a little hollow in case it do rain. You don't want your tent set up in an area where water will collect. Make sure you got a good runoff. When you're cooking, you should be downwind of your tent. And if possible, go about 100 meters. When you're storing your food, if you don't have a bear-proof container, hang it up between two trees and about 13 feet off the ground. Make sure you only take the utensils that you absolutely need. You clean them and store them with your food. So when nature calls, the best place to have your washroom facilities, we'll call it, is downwind of your campsite. Nobody wants to stumble across somebody else's washroom while out in nature. So make sure you dig a hole if you can and fill it back up. Keep everything covered. And that is a few things to keep in mind if you want to reduce your impact on the environment while camping. For more camping adventures, you can check out my YouTube channel, NL Ghost Wolf. Until next time.
Competition for the Paralympic Games in Paris, and Canada is already making its mark in the pool.
Riley Crossley of USA, who looks to come to the wall first in world record time. It's a 27:28. Christy Riley Crossley, a 37-year-old mother of three, who only recently took up para swimming, has now, in this second heat, smashed the world record and beaten the great Aurélie Rivard.
Yes, Canada was the team to beat, and USA did it, coming out on top in first place. Still a great showing, though. Canada's Aurélie Rivard splashed and dashed to win a bronze in the women's 50-meter freestyle earlier today. The 28-year-old and former record holder also won bronze at the Tokyo Games, but says this Games in Paris already feels more fun. Well, Canada's first medal of the Games came earlier today. Kate O'Brien pedaled her way to bronze in the women's track cycling C45 500-meter time trial. She went into the event fourth overall in the heats. The 36-year-old from Calgary made her Paralympic debut in Tokyo 3 years ago, where she brought home a silver medal. Well, it was a performance for Edith Piaf. A classic helped kick off the games yesterday, and an epic walk straight through the heart and streets of Paris. Newfoundland's own Katarina Roxon got a front row seat yesterday for the opening ceremonies. She was a flag bearer, of course. The five-time Paralympic champion carried that flag with her, classic big smile. The CBC's Quabino Duro has more on what to expect of Team Canada.
Canada. 4,400 athletes marched through the Champs-Élysées in Paris. It's the first time in the Games' history the athletes get to walk through the streets of the host city. Team Canada, led by Paralympic gold medalist Pat Anderson and Katarina Roxon,
You know, this is our moment to, show Canadians in the world what we have and how, each one of us has a story about sort of being dealt a different hand than a lot of people in life.
A lot of people are really looking forward to having these games in whatever sport they're in. Having such a crowd there, you're going to see amazing results. That's all I'm going to say.
The Paralympic swim team is looking to dominate at the Games just like their counterparts at the Olympic Games. Para-swimmer Aurélie Rivard is no stranger to being on the podium. She's Canada's most decorated para-swimmer. She says she and Roxanne were cheering on Summer McIntosh during the Olympics, and now she's hoping to carry that momentum over.
Kat, Roxanne, and I were watching Summer race, and we couldn't, sit down. We were screaming, we were jumping, and that excitement, I think we remember. I think we want to carry with us here. If I think about the little girl that I used to be, I can't believe that the person I'm talking about right now is me. But it does feel like it comes with so much pride.
These games will be the first time Canada's Paralympians will be paid for podium finishes. It will be the same amount of money as Olympians. More than 2 million tickets have been sold so far. Wheelchair basketball star Patrick Anderson is competing in his last Paralympic Games. He's hoping to lead his team back to the podium.
We are an underdog. There's no way around that fact. But that doesn't mean we're not going to compete, and doesn't mean we don't have a chance to knock off some of these teams and get in the medal rounds. We're going to leave it all out there.
As many of these athletes continue their long Paralympic careers, they hope to inspire other athletes across the country to dream big. Cubino Duro, CBC News, Montreal.
So this is actually a breastfeeding-friendly dress from H&M.
This chain goes with everything. Any white shirt you wear, anything, you just put this chain on, you're good to go.
I'm a cowboy as of right now. Yeah.
A perfect place to strut your stuff and express yourself through fashion. Still to come, we swing by the downtown pedestrian mall for a fit check.
I wish I could have cool shoes like
guys, my name is Hanjin. I'm a model actor. Today I'm down at Water Street doing some fit check. Come with me. Do you want to talk about your outfit today?
Yes, I do. I was in Tulsa for 2 weeks. I got my boots, Cavenders, H&M, Amazon, and Amazon. So there's the full.
So I guess that was your favorite piece of.
That is my whole personality now. I'm a cowboy as of right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you want to talk about your outfit today?
My
you have
outfit?
A wonderful outfit.
Yeah. Well, this is our coat. Everybody knows the shoes. This is Fashion Nova Man. Cartiers. That's it.
What about accessories?
Accessory. This is my everyday ring. I put everything on different. My everyday chain, you know. Gotta have the chain with the ring. Summertime, summer vibes. Gotta get it on.
So if you let you pick for the first, like your favorite piece of your stuff from your outfit.
Oh, definitely the chain. Gotta go to chain. The chain goes with everything. Any white shirt
Love
you
it
wear,
too.
anything, you just put the chain on, you're good to go. Yeah,
Perfect.
100%.
Can you guys do a 360 view of your outfit today? And tell us about your outfit a little bit.
So this is actually a breastfeeding friendly dress from H&M. So I love their clothes because you can't tell that it's breastfeeding friendly, but very easy access. In the summer, it's nice to wear a dress, but of course you need to be able to feed your baby. And yeah.
Tank top, running shorts, A6 Nova Blast shoes, custom hat from my basketball association, FNBA merch coming down really soon. We got a tournament coming in September, so
wow.
Trying to rep the brand. Sunglasses, Gooter, so it's just basic, you know, for just sunny weather. So.
What is your favorite piece of your outfit today?
Probably my sneakers.
Sneakers? Ooh, they're so cool. I wish I could have cool shoes like you.
All right, from a fit check to a weather check, and this is gonna be the last weekend actually that you'll be able to strut your stuff at the pedestrian mall in downtown St. John's. So Labor Day weekend marks the end of the pedestrian mall.
Yeah, looks like a decent weekend though.
Oh,
So
good.
get out and enjoy some sunshine.
A lot of people will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, after today, definitely fall feeling. But yeah, that will all change as we head through the weekend. Let's take a look at what's going on. That big ridge of high pressure is going to dominate the weather pretty much through Friday and into at least the first part of Saturday, especially across the island. But there is a bit of an area of low pressure to the north there, and that is going to bring in cloud cover and the chance of some showers up across Labrador, and that will start in the morning for those of you in Lab West. The north coast will see some showers as well as that area of low pressure moves through, and we'll eventually see those showers through central areas of Labrador into the evening hours. Now, again, sunshine the story across the island, beautiful day. Southerly winds for most of the island, and that means our temperatures are going to be quite nice as well. So temperatures will really start to rebound from what we've been seeing earlier for the last couple of days, I should say, but 21 to 25 degrees will be the daytime highs with plenty of sunshine. A little cooler though for those of you in Lab West. You'll hover around 19 degrees through the afternoon, otherwise 20 to 25. The story for the rest of the big land on your Saturday. As we head into Sunday, again, that ridge of high pressure for the most part will dominate the weather picture, but we'll start to see the chances of showers as this area of low pressure and front sinks a little bit further south. So most of you across Labrador will be seeing that shower, the shower activity except northern areas. You'll see some things clear out through the day, which will be nice, but we will see clouds on the increase across the island. Shower chances increasing as well through the day, except in the east. We will see continue to see some sunshine and also some decent temperatures through the afternoon, although winds will shift more southeasterly, so we'll likely see some more cloud cover right towards hugging the coast of the Avalon. But overall, daytime highs again around 20 to 24 degrees through the day, and up across Labrador into the upper teens or low 20s through the afternoon as well. And again, those shower chances for most except the north coast. Now, the long range forecast looking, we're into the long weekend, and looking like we will see temperatures around 24 degrees for Monday. Again, those shower chances moving in, though, that will continue Monday and into Tuesday, with the overnight lows dipping by the time we get into Tuesday evening, back down to around 10, 11 degrees. And then for central Newfoundland, you're going to see some showers again. Tuesday clearing, it looks like. The trend will be to clear anyway, with daytime highs in the upper teens. Cooling a little bit more for western Newfoundland, as you see your temperatures around 20 degrees for Monday, but dropping to 15 by the time we get into Tuesday. But again, your skies should clear as the day goes on. And then for eastern Labrador, temperatures dipping into the single digits overnight, but your daytime highs are still going to stay pretty decent. 24 degrees by Monday. Tuesday dipping to about 18, but really cooling down in Lab West with the chance of some rain and temperatures between 9 and 13 degrees. Now, this is a great shot of a morning workout.
Very early.
Yeah, Finn was taking a walk around the new track there in Gander and shared this great sunrise shot. If you have any weather photos that you would like to share with us, you can do that by sending them to my Facebook page or emailing them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
No, that is a great shot. Thank you so much, Finn. So nice to get up that early and be active right at sunrise.
This time of year,
Excellent. Yes. And as we leave you tonight, we want to have another look at that massive cruise ship in St. John's Harbor. There it is. The Serenade of the Sea is overnighting in St. John's this evening, and that's because of the high winds that are happening tonight. Now, some of the passengers aboard that vessel are part of an epic 9-month-long journey cruising to many of the globe's great places, like the Great Wall of China. It's a long time to be at sea, though, my goodness. And you're looking at a live shot there from the room's camera in St. John's.
Yeah, too bad we have seen such a, string of nice warm weather, but not so much today. They're in for a cooler evening tonight.
Yes, and our drone operator and video producer Danny Arsenault captured these great shots this afternoon of the vessel. We'll leave you with that tonight. Hope you have a great evening.